Hello Exiles, and welcome to the next video on my League content guide series. And today we're going to be delving back to one of my favourite leagues, mainly because this one has a bit of a soft spot in my heart because this was my first league. And this is Bestiary League, where Einhar and beasts were introduced into the game and you could basically have to capture beasts. Now, this was my first league. And I'll tell you a funny story. One time I was running around, and bearing in mind obviously it's my brand new first league, I was running around trying to kill this beast in the ridge, so in the early acts, and this beast just would not die. And I remember it kept killing me next to my portal, and every time I went back in it had life regen, so every time it would just keep regenning, and at the end of it I just thought, sack this, and I just ran away because I couldn't kill it. Later on, I then looked back at my build and I had all negative resist, so I'm not surprised. Now, this obviously league is a bit of a Pokemon catch 'em all type league. Obviously, the more beasts you have, the more crafting that you can do. So we are going to delve into a little bit more deeply into that in a minute. But in this league, you did have to actually manually capture them with nets, like thermaturgical nets, strong nets, which are very, very fun. And I still have some of them in standard. It was the league that Tornado Shot was implemented into the game, the gem that we all love and hate. There was a bunch of new uniques added in. They redid all of the ascendancies and they did quite a few changes on all of the builds. And they actually added into the game as well the Uber Elder. So you could then take on Shaper and Elder at the same time. And as you can imagine, that was a bit of a challenge, and it still is a bit of a challenge for new players. Even now, we have boss carries just for Uber Elder because of how challenging it can be. So this league was quite fun, and again, like I said, this was my first league, so I do remember it very well. I didn't really understand Path of Exile in terms of its mechanics in its entirety, but I remember the league very well. Anyway, before we crack on into the video, if you like my content and you like any of my videos, throw us a subscribe, throw us a like, and go check out my other videos on my channel. Now, the next question you're probably asking is, what is Bestiary? So Bestiary is basically, it's a bunch of beasts in its most layman terms. As you enter maps, there is a chance, unless you force it, for there to be some particularly strong rares on your map that will either have a red icon or a yellow icon. A yellow icon is just a typical rare beast. A red icon will be very stronger, very much more mods on the beast, and they will be a lot harder to kill. Now, once you've actually killed that beast from your hideout, obviously it does say in the skills there that Einhar's hunt, but you can obviously progress to or travel to the menagerie. There is an option within your screen. Now, when you click on that, it does then take you to your menagerie. Now, if you go into the actual menagerie section, you will see all of the beasts that you have captured in any of your maps. They go into your menagerie, into all the different areas. So there's like menagerie depths, menagerie wilds, things like that. Now, the main area, the blood altar, there is a series of crafts. So every single beast that you slay, you will be able to do a craft. Now, it uses one rare beast, which is obviously the red beast, and it will also use 3 yellow beasts. Now, some crafts will actually use 2 red beasts. Now, if you go to your actual menagerie, which usually you get to by pressing H, you can see every single beast that you have ever captured in your bestiary. Now, let's just say you wanted to craft on one of these items, so you wanted to do one of these crafts. All you would do is you would literally just click on one of these and then you would then press craft. And what would then happen is it would then spawn that rare beast and all of the other red beasts, and you then have to complete the challenge of killing them. Once you have killed them, you will then receive what it is offering. So whether it's going to offer you some random currency, some random uniques, it may offer you the chance to give you 30% quality on an item. There's a whole list of varieties of crafts that you can get, and as you do it, like I said here, you then have to slay all of the beasts. Once you have done so, the platter in the middle will go red and it will then provide you with your item. So obviously this was a two-handed or a random unique item. Now, you can also speak to Einhar as well. So if you wanted to actually capture any of your beasts as well and put them in these bestiary orbs, you can do. Now, they do cost 1 chaos orb each. The way that you do this is you have to have your inventory open and you have to have your beast window open at the same time. And what you would do is you would right click the orb and left click on any of the beasts. And what it would then do is it would then capture that beast into the orb itself, and then if you wanted to, you can then sell that beast for whatever cost that it may be. Now there are some quite expensive beasts which we're going to run through in a minute. There is like the Phenomenal Arachnid and there is the Craicic Chimeral. These ones actually are very expensive because they will do split beasts, they will split items, and then there is another one that will like do an imprint of an item. And there are quite a few other ones which you can only get from particular memories, beast memories, which you can then increase the level of particular gems. And there is one that also re-rolls Watcher's Eyes and things like that. So we'll go through all them in a minute when we're going through the memory, and we'll discuss all of the types of beasts that you can get from that. First of all, you're going to be asking, where do I get these beasts and how do I get them into my maps? So first and foremost, the first way that you can get beasts into your maps is actually by running scarabs. So we have all 4 of the scarabs here, so I'm going to run through them very quickly. So the first one obviously provides you with 1 red beast, Polished provides you with 2 red beasts, Gilded provides you with 3, and Winged provides you with 5. But what it also does is it also guarantees that Einhar will be in your map. So basically, if you are wanting to use it on the map device instead, because it is on the map device here as Einhar, you cannot use them both. It will only allow you to use one at a time. So you have to either pick, do you want to increase the amount of red beasts that are in your map, or do you want to just add Einhar just for a bit of added juice? So there is another way to add Einhar into your maps, but the sextant that you can use to get him into your maps is exactly the same as the map device modifier. Now I don't think I know anybody that uses that. So if you're actually just running Einhar on your map device and you want to get more, then you can just provide a sextant and you can just run it. It literally just says your maps contain Einhar. That's it. But I feel that that is a pretty bad use of a sextant. You could be using something else that will juice your map a lot more than just adding Einhar. However, there is a modifier and there is a map modifier that you can get. I'm showing you the 16 use one here because there is no difference between this one and the 3-4 use one. And basically every beast that you capture, you will then create a copy of that beast. So if you was to capture a Craicic Chimeral, instead of getting 1, you will get 2. So you literally double your profits. But as you can see here, you don't always get the Craicic Chimerals, but it's a case of that when you do, you will then double it. As always, you can also use the Atlas tree to help you, and I'm going to run through the nodes here. So there's one here just as you start, which does provide you with a greater chance of Einhar being in your maps, and you also have a chance here to create a copy of the beasts captured in your maps. You get 6% here just from these 2 nodes. Now all of Einhar's nodes are on the left hand side of the tree as you go up. None of them are up the middle, none of them are up the right. They're all up the left hand side. So then if you carry on along this path, there is then another big one here. This I feel is one of the best ones. I will go through the other one in a second. So this one provides you with 100% cooldown for Einhar. Now the reason why that is good is because it basically means that Einhar will capture beasts twice as fast. Now if you run the map mod that we're going to run in a second that I'll show you, where you may potentially have 30 beasts in your map, you will need this because he will struggle to capture that many beasts, and you will have to stand there while you wait for him to capture like 6 or 7 beasts in one go that are all next to each other. Whereas if you have this on, you will only need to stay there for a second or 2 and he will have captured them all. Also provides Einhar with a bit more damage. He has 1000% more damage, so if you need him for a bit of damage on your maps, then he helps you. And it says there that he remains in your maps after your mission is complete, so he will then continue to help you. All these smaller ones obviously provide you with an Einhar master mission on completion. You may get an additional yellow beast, and then this bottom one you have a 15% chance that yellow beasts are replaced with red beasts. Now it is red beasts that you are looking for. Now if you carry on up this tree, the next one is right at the top left here. Now you can target some particular beasts. So if you wanted to just, let's say, target the Craicic Chimeral, which is one of the most expensive, you would go straight for the hunt for the Criterion, which obviously says there red beasts have a 100% increased chance to be from the deep. Now please bear in mind, 100% does not mean 100%. It means that there is a better chance of you getting one from your maps. It doesn't mean that every single beast in your map will be from the Criterion. You will get others from other areas. Obviously, carrying on, there is also this one in the middle, natural selection, which says that beasts are more likely to be the less common. Less common is Craicic Chimeral, Phenomal Arachnids, the big ones, the most expensive ones. So it's always best that if you are beast farming that you take these two. If you want to take the ones around the middle as well, this is obviously that you have a better chance to contain an additional red beast. So instead of your maps, let's say, in having 5 yellow beasts and 5 red beasts, you might have 8 red beasts and 2 yellow beasts. You want the more red beasts. That's where the money is. Now, if you wanted to target farm, let's say the Phenomal Arachnid Spider, then you can go for this one, which is the Hunt for the Phenomus. Now, any of the others that you're wanting to do, so if you're wanting to go for the Sackwall items, or if you're wanting to go for the Farrel set, maybe a Farrel Fur, stuff like that, then this is where you would then go. The final section, which is also one of the best ones, is up here, which is this node right here, which is the Great Migration. Now, I would always recommend that you go up the right hand side, this side here, 4% chance to appear in pairs. The left hand side just gives you a 1% chance, which when you're at this point, you want a bit more bang for your buck. Up here, 4% chance to appear in pairs is what you want, because you might get a chance that your Craicic Chimeral may appear in pairs. Now, if you can see where I'm going with this, if it appears in pairs, that means that when you then capture them, if you have that beast duplication sextant on, which creates a copy, you will then get 4, not 2. So you're then rolling in the divines. Now, the best one on here is this one, which basically says that you have an 8% chance to contain additional packs of beasts instead of other monsters. So what it will do is it will basically change packs of monsters in your maps to be a beast instead, whether it be a yellow beast or a red beast. Now, it is an 8% chance, so it is quite low, but if you was to run, let's say, 50 maps, I could probably guarantee that a good 5 or 6 of them will have this in it. And when you walk in and you encounter Einhar or you encounter any beast, the counter of the beasts will be like 1 out of 37 or 1 out of 29. That's when you know you've hit it. You will notice as well that your map will be swarming with beasts, so that is basically when you know you've hit it, and it is a very juicy mod as well when you get that. So we are going to discuss now the expensive beasts and the ones which are actually worth the most amount of money. Now, I am going to point you here to the Path of Regex. Now, I did actually do a video on this website, so if you don't know how to use this website, I will put a link up here in the top corner so you can go and watch that after this video if you want a bit of a guide. But basically, this code you can put into your bestiary and it will actually go away and it will check if you have any of the more expensive beasts, basically because you will want to know if you have any money sat in your bestiary as of right now. Now, so you don't have to type in Phenomal Plagued Arachnid, there is a particular code, which as you can see there is obviously a bunch of code up here. Now, the most expensive ones are all the ones that are highlighted in blue as of right now are all the ones that are within that code. Now, as you can see here at the top, the most expensive one here is a Wild Hellion Alpha, which at the moment is, sorry, that's not the most expensive, I'll come back to that, sorry, which is 701 Chaos. This is where it starts to go up crazy. Then we have the Craicic Chimeral, which is 713 Chaos, and then we have a Vivid Vulture, which is Roller Synthesis Implicit Modifier, which is currently 1188 Chaos, which is obviously quite big if you was to get double of those beasts. Now, this website, obviously you can literally just copy this code, and then if you then go into the game itself, you can then go into the game in here, go into your bestiary, go to captured beasts, filter it in, and it will then show you all of the ones that you then have and if they are the expensive ones. Now, I was running some Primal Rexes earlier in the league, so that's why I have quite a few of these, and I also have some Craicic Spider Crabs. I don't know what they're worth, but yeah, we'll just check that because I'm curious. Craicic Spider Crab, 55 Chaos. That provides open a portal to the Craician's Cove, which we're going to discuss now. Now, there are 4 beasts that are very rare, and obviously they can potentially open up a portal to their particular lair, would you say? And these are these four that are listed right here. So we have the Craicic, First of the Deep, the Farrell, First of the Plains, Fenyamus, First of the Night, and Sackwall, First of the Sky. Now obviously if you kill all four of these, then I do believe that there is a chance that they will then drop their responding unique piece of gear, which obviously if I scroll down here, if you obviously kill the Craicic's First of the Deep, then there is a chance that he will drop one of these four items, which is obviously the Craicic pieces. If you kill the Farrell, then he will drop the Farrell pieces. So if you wanted a Farrell's fur, then obviously that's how you could potentially get it. If you wanted a Fenyamus, I don't think I've ever seen a build running a Fenyamus, but if you wanted to run this, then you can do that. And if you wanted to run Twisters, there is a very good Twister build, then you can get the Sackwalls, which will then reduce your the amount of time, and it reduces like your cooldown, if I remember rightly. I think it's on the gloves, if I remember rightly. Yeah, the seconds to Avian's Might duration. If you have that to -2, then it's pretty much perfect roll. You want to try and get all of them, I think, to like -2 or as minimum as possible. Yeah, it's on the boots and the gloves. You want to try and get it as low as possible. But obviously, yeah, they're the four set pieces that you can get by killing these four particular bosses, and obviously you would get them by basically just farming up beasts. But obviously it does say here they're very rare unique beasts, and obviously it will open up 6 portals, kind of similar to a map, and obviously you then have to then take on the actual boss. It is usually a phased fight, so you do have to usually go into 1 or 2 or maybe 3 areas to try and kill it, but once you've done them, it will then drop one of these items. Now, if you like running beasts, there is actually a memory called Einhar's Memory of Harvest Beasts, which is right here. Now, as you can see here, it says that the area contains catchable harvest beasts. They have increased modifier magnitudes. Red beasts are replaced with harvest beasts, and area contains additional red beasts. Now, obviously, they do more damage and they have more life, but the rolls that you can get and the potential beasts that you can get from this map are the rarest beast mods that you can get, so we're going to run through them now. So starting here, this is the list of mods that you can get just from running here Einhar's Memory of Harvest Beasts. So you can get reroll a Awakened Support Gem, you can get the reroll the Synthesis Implicit, create a Elder Shaper Conqueror Guardian map, you can increase the level of a non-corrupted Awakened Gem, you can reroll a Watcher's Eye, you can add a crafted meta modifier, which are obviously all in here, you can create a map, you can gain each Atlas mission, and you can also gain a free use of each map crafting option. So there is quite a few different ones that you can obviously get. These are obviously the most expensive, and as we've already seen, the most expensive one on here is the Synthesis Implicit modifier. Now with the memory, obviously you have to do 4 maps. So with the 4 maps, you would be guaranteed, I would assume, to get at least a couple of one of these. So you would at least get maybe the reroll an Awakened Gem, maybe reroll a Synth Implicit, things like that. So it's a case of that if you enjoy doing those and you enjoy doing beasts, then this can be profitable. But the last time I checked, I think the memory was around about 9 divines. So let's go and check. Yeah, as expected, the price is currently 16.5 or 16 to 17 divines just for the memory. So you would need to at least hit a couple of those modifiers to be breaking profit, because that is quite expensive just for memory. Now you are going to get potentially 4 maps. I think it's 4 maps, it may be 5, I can't remember. I've not done this memory for quite some time because it is expensive, but it can be very profitable if you can get the right beasts. Best thing to do is try and push as many red beasts into your map as possible, but please bear in mind that the Atlas tree does not affect memories. So it doesn't matter what you have selected on your Atlas tree, it will not affect your memory. So you want to try and basically boost the map as much as possible, but without the use of your Atlas tree or scarabs, because you can't put them in. And that is basically it, guys. There's no other ways that you can get beasts into your map, and it is a very profitable method if you do like running it. If you don't know who I am and you've only just stumbled across this channel, go and check out my other videos. There's a ton of videos. Obviously, we're only about halfway through up to now. We're doing every single piece of content that is obviously in Path of Exile. So we started all the way back at Strongboxes, and we've obviously done Beyond and everything like that. Apologies for how long this video has been, but there is that much content within Beasts because it has been in the game for quite some time now. It has been in now for what, 6 years, and they just keep adding little bits to it every now and then. Best quality of life I think that they could add to Bestiaries right now is a way for you to be able to literally just empty your bestiary in one go. That would be perfect, because at the moment you are having to literally just click manually one by one if you do want to remove them, which is a bit of the pain. And other than that, guys, next video that we're going to be doing is going to be on Incursion, which will be the next video I do in a couple of days, and that will be all around Alva and the pyramid and what rooms you should be getting, and I'll give you a little cheat sheet for that one as well, so that will help you out. But until the next video, guys, thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, throw us a like, throw us a subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, stay sane.